Good morning, college football fans, and welcome to 3 and Out College Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Well, that postseason, y'all, it's coming, and it's coming fast. We have now reached the month of November, and we have ourselves quite the route to get to the postseason with so much craziness happening last week. It was a mixture. Slightly boring, slightly really exciting in all levels. And I'll tell you, we have some fun stuff to get into today. And, November's here, y'all. November's here. That means in the next couple of weeks, we got lots and lots of playoffs from junior college. Lots and lots of playoffs throughout high school. Lots and lots of playoffs coming up. Well, the playoff brackets being set for D2, D3, and the NAIA. And oh yeah, the FCS is just getting crazier by the day. And the FBS, well, you already know, them conference championships are going to be quite the masterpiece, as they usually are. This is going to be some fun today. As always, my goodness, SC. Don't know how many more games they're going to win this year. Oregon. I think they're going to keep on winning a lot, along with Notre Dame, Washington, and maybe even UCLA. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in live to 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome, college football fans. Well, as I always got to say, thank you so much for being here this morning and showing us love and being a part of our show. Man, it is just so much fun every single Saturday. I look forward to it every Saturday talking college football, man, with my boy here. And, today is going to be no different as we have ourselves some great stuff to get into. High school playoffs just started here in SoCal. They're already 1 week old in Nevada. And, just all parts of the country, we are seeing that hunt for the national championship, at least in the top 3, maybe 3, 4, 5 around there. But I'll tell you, today's going to be a fun show. Can't do it without my buddy, man. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, welcoming IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, the host of the SoCal Spring Sports Show, and of course, the host of Set Point and our co-host here on 3 and Out College Edition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming, of course, the one and the only Mr. Teron Rodriguez. What's going on, brother? How you doing today, man?
Hey, Larry. Great to be on here. Ready to talk some college football with you. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Oh, sound a little muffled there, man. But yeah, just a little bit. But glad to have you on, man, and glad to have you a part of tonight. Or a part of this morning. I always say tonight for some reason when we're talking on the show. But last week was crazy, man. I mean, SC just barely winning by a point in a team that they should have beaten by like double the amount. Just kidding. I mean, but really, that was something else. I mean, upsets like crazy. Kansas knocking off Oklahoma. There goes every chance that Oklahoma had for their national championship. I believe that's pretty much out the window. We know dang well SC ain't going nowhere this year. North Carolina, did they finally meet their max, Taryn, or did they just not belong there in the first place? I don't know. Arizona proves that, hey, that thing that we did against SC wasn't just because USC sucks this year. It's because we're actually pretty good, and they proved it against Oregon State. I mean, really, just some good stuff. Ohio State stepping on Wisconsin, nothing new. Tennessee barely defeating Kentucky. That was a close one. I mean, we had lots of good games last week, man. Duke, of course, getting smacked around by Louisville because, once again, some people are even saying, they shouldn't have even been there in the first place. It's all these crazy things. So we got a lot to get to today, Darren. And brother, let's get right on into the goods. So starting things off, real quick, little D1 chatter right here, man. And any of those games last week really, really surprised you in the FBS?
Well, I was very surprised that Oklahoma laid an egg. That was very surprising. I did not think they would lose that bad. Well, lose to Kansas, but I guess Kansas is more than just a basketball school.
It's crazy to see it right there. And I mean, I don't know, brother. I keep thinking to myself, hey, are you guys gonna is Oklahoma gonna rejoin greatness? Or are they just going to keep stumbling or stay where they are, and which one of these schools is going to pick up and stick around instead of having these little flashes of like Central Florida and then they're good and then they go right back down? So is that going to be the same thing like Kentucky too? Kentucky, they're still here and there, but you know what I mean? Like, is North Carolina and Duke and Kansas, like, are they going to stick around? Are they going to be? So I don't know, Taryn. I'm pretty excited for what's to come here, but all right, man. So the top 10 high school football this week, of course, Bishop Gorman, they're going to go 11-0 because they're Bishop Gorman. But they won their first their first playoff game. They defeated Coronado of Henderson a couple weeks back while they played them again in the first round. First time they played, it was 49-7 in the last week of the regular season for them. This week, it wasn't much different, Taryn, as they defeat them 63-12. I mean, it's not much different there. So they are off to play Liberty of Henderson next week in the playoffs, and I'm guessing it's going to be pretty much a lot of the same. So what do you say? What do you do, right? Looks like the regular season is ending in Florida right now for a lot of these teams, as Lakewood, Chaminade Madonna would make Lakewood another victim. I mean, man, Chaminade Madonna, look at these last three victories, man. Insane. 64-0, 70-0, and 57-0 last night versus Lakewood in their first, looks like in the final regular game of the final game of the regular season. So Chaminade Madonna definitely going to their playoffs for sure. St. John Bosco, as we know, they are 9-1 on the season, and they would finish off the week last week. Of course, the CIF brackets were released last week, and Division 1 gets their week off, basically, because there's only like 8 teams. But they get their week, and, now, after I wouldn't say destroying, but after beating Orange Lutheran 44-22 a couple weeks back, or last week, next week, on Veterans Day, by the way, they're playing San Clemente, and that's going to be, it should be pretty fun. I mean, I'm guaranteeing Bosco's going to run through them, but it'll be good for a little bit, I'm sure. So that's the first round there of the Division 1 CIF playoffs in California. Next up here, let's take a quick look here. IMG Academy, they are now 8-0, as we say, Taryn. They are a freelance team, so, but they got a couple of weeks before they play St. Francis Academy, who's had anything but a good season. We've talked about them this year a lot, as St. Francis Academy is now 4-5. They've brought themselves up with some decent wins, but they should be like IMG Academy undefeated right now, but they're currently number 4, IMG Academy, that is. Modern Day, the current number 5 team in the country, could redeem number 1 if they just sweep these playoffs, which I think they probably will. We have here, last week, of course, they defeated Rancho Santa Margarita in a scary close game. It really was, 35-19. We talked about that last week, but hey, is what it is. They got the victory, win's a win. And now in the playoffs in Division 1, they're playing good old J. Sarah Catholic coming up. They actually went 5-5 in the regular season, but hey, you just got to win in the league, right? And make it happen, and they did in league. So they made that bracket. So let's see what they do. Of course, good old Modern Day, what they're going to do this year. Okay, so other than that, we got North Shore in Houston. They're now 10-0, Taryn, as they play another one next week. It looks like, don't know if it's going to be playoffs or not. I'm guessing this is their playoffs. They just defeated Kingwood on Thursday, 55-7, and it looks like in their first round they're playing Deer Park coming on up. So that's some Texas high school football there, but we're going to stay in Texas for just a short bit, Taryn, because something crazy did happen, man, and this was something. So Duncanville, as we know, last week we didn't bring it up because we didn't see the game yet, because we did the show earlier. This game was later on in the day, but Taryn, they've done it, man. The mighty have fallen. Duncanville will fall to DeSoto. And just crazy, 49-35, Duncanville is now out of the top 10 of the Max Preps top 10 here. And they dropped, man. And then last night, actually 2 nights ago, Mansfield. It was a real short week for DeSoto, but they can handle it, man. They defeated Mansfield 63-24. That was a district game, so now they got the playoffs coming up next week. They're playing Harker Heights. So, yeah, man, just crazy stuff there. So, DeSoto, man, these guys definitely balled. That's the number 7 team in the country. We have Kahuku. They are currently, I believe they're like already done with their playoffs, basically. We're getting really close. They've already defeated Kapoli. I don't want to butcher that name, but next week they have Miliani and then Punahu. So, yeah, I mean, today is Milanaki. So, sorry, Miliani. So, this is crazy, you know, we got a couple games there coming up here. And then, of course, that is the number 8 team, Mill Creek in Georgia. They are having they just finished their regular season yesterday, and they defeated Mountain View 33-7. They have to be announced playoffs next week. And then, of course, finishing off the top 10, Darren, St. Joe's Prep out of Philadelphia. They will finish. They defeated Roman Catholic 45-7 last week, and it looks like they have another conference game coming up next week. They're playing LaSalle College. So, I don't know why it says, I guess, LaSalle College High School, unless that's actually, yeah, so LaSalle College High School out of, looks like Windemore, Pennsylvania. So, anyways, Aaron, all this crazy stuff going on, man. Any thoughts or comments on any of these teams in this top 10?
So we had quite a great game happening. We had Liberty defeating Centennial. Liberty of Arizona taking down Centennial of Arizona 36-17. Kind of a mini upset right there, just because in terms of rankings, because Liberty is 25 and Centennial is 23 in the top 25. But I thought that was a very good game, a very good win, because it was the battle of 2 9-win teams, if I'm not mistaken, or 2 8. One team was 9-0 and the other team was 8-1, which was Centennial being 9-0, and then the other team was 8-1. So it was a great game between those two Arizona teams, and Liberty just came through.
And that is awesome, man. Another one of those good games right there. Pretty good catch right there, brother. So I will say it's definitely a fun time here in SoCal. Playoff season started. I'm all over these CIF Southern Section brackets right now, looking at who's going where. Can't believe Chaparral got destroyed over here in close to Temecula team. We've seen a lot of these teams. Just Marietta got beat by Long Beach Poly, but one that just kind of, it's a kick in the pants, Taryn. Oh, no. Newport Harbor, man. They dropped one last night. I know it was kind of tough, but how about that game, brother? 24-21, right?
Yep. They were down 21-0 at one point. They got a pick 6 pretty much to end the half. They almost came back. It almost reminded me of the Temecula Valley final back in 2021. But unfortunately, they just couldn't get off the field. Their defense just couldn't get off the field. And there was a little questionable holding call on 4th down, but it shouldn't have gotten to that point. And also them missing a field goal from like 43 yards out just was a kick in the pants as well. And I think Newport Harbor was missing one of their starting offensive linemen, and their quarterback got sacked, I think, 3 or 4 times. So it shouldn't have gotten to that point. So all in all, for Newport Harbor, it was a tough one, but I basically said that when it comes to Trabuco Hills and Newport Harbor, it's always a barn burner, and it always comes down to the wire, and it's always an instant classic.
2 very good teams going at it in the first round there, man. So we'll keep you guys updated on more playoffs, but Tim, we move on to the 3C2A, and bro, wow, man. I mean, last week was crazy. Grossmont forfeited to Fullerton. I didn't see that coming, but then again, I don't know what happened, but ouch, I don't even know. But let's just say the game wouldn't have been very pretty anyway. Riverside looks like Riverside got it done, man. You know what? Okay, I'm going to tell you this. I thought they would beat Saddleback by more. I did. 39-0, but I thought they would beat them by more. Therefore, hey, Saddleback fought, showed some moxie, But overall, man, nothing really too exciting in the world of the 3C2A last week as we're closing in on playoffs. Cerritos takes it to San Bernardino Valley. SBVC now drops to 1-7 on the year. Oh, the Wolverines were so good just a few years ago, Terry. We talked about these guys being pretty good, and they're anything but that now. But they lost that one 34-20 at home. And just a lot of moving pieces is really what this is right now. Just teams just picking up, going here, going there, getting victories, but definitely not moving pieces in the rankings very much, because that's just not at the moment what's going on. I mean, regardless though, there was one game that we highlighted last week that would be kind of fun because they were both kind of like in the same wheelhouse. Mount San Jacinto, man, they defeated Palomar 37-14. I thought that game would be a lot closer, but it wasn't. And there you have it. So when it comes down to it, we take a look at these darn rankings, and well, it's Aaron, as of last week, these rankings, man, City College of San Francisco remains number one. They have just, 5 more points scored than Riverside. So I guess that's how they're doing it. So the current top 5 right now, man, we have our current top 10 from 10 to 1. We have El Camino, Ventura, Butte, Golden West, and American River. And then our current top 5, we have College of San Mateo, Fullerton, Mount San Antonio, Riverside, and City College of San Francisco. So, yeah, Taryn, it's been a lot of the same. I mean, there really hasn't been too much. Just a little shake-up there, kind of slightly mid-season, but that's really it. Okay. Well, we did have one game last night. Doesn't really have anything to weigh on the playoffs coming up here, but Laney taking on Diablo Valley. Laney would win that 120-6, one of their only wins of the season, so they're pretty happy they got that sucker. But today, Taryn, nothing really too exciting. I mean, I look through the games and just go, okay, well, Riverside San Diego Mesa might be a fun little game to watch, but overall, I mean, we're not, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong, upsets can happen. They can, and I would be very, very angry if Riverside dropped one, especially at Mesa, because they, back in the day, man, we used to scrimmage those guys. It wasn't even anything like that. We scrimmaged them. I mean, had it been a game, but I will say, they've definitely picked up their program, and they're good, they're solid. So, but we take a look at that, and we take a look at some of these big games, some of these games next week. Fullerton and Riverside is going to be the game. I don't even care. Like, that's the one. Like, that's going to be the battle. So I'm already looking ahead to next week. But when we talk about some of the games this week, man, I mean, San Mateo and San Joaquin Delta. Okay, cool. Like, whatever. Nothing there. Grossmont and Mount San Jacinto might be a good game. Just because, well, they're both kind of bottom feeders. Mount St. Jack's is a little bit better. Mount San Antonio and Long Beach actually might be a pretty good one today as well. Golden West, Cerritos. But when you look at these teams, though, when you look at these matchups, I don't know. There's a few. El Camino, Ventura, yeah, but overall, Taryn, I don't know. I think next week we're gonna get the fireworks. So talk to us, man. What do you think from last week? Any crazy, surprising games you want to throw out there? And what do you think this week, man? What are some of your big matchups? Maybe I missed a couple. What do you think?
Well, you actually did touch upon a couple: Golden West, Cerritos, and El Camino Ventura, as well as Mount San Antonio and Long Beach. A couple that I think stand out to me: Santa Ana and Chaffee. Those two are as good as they're gonna get, and then also a sneaky good matchup: Fullerton Saddleback. Now, Saddleback obviously got cooled off by Riverside, but it's always a nice little Orange County matchup between these two schools. And these two used to kind of battle it out back when they were in the same conference, primarily before this whole conference shuffling began. So I kind of look forward to that. And then, like I said, Santa Ana Chaffee. Santa Ana has drastically improved. They used to be kind of middle, near the bottom of the totem pole in terms of the 3C2A. Now they're kind of on the rise again. So keep an eye on that one.
No, absolutely, Darren. I remember playing Santa Ana. That was the last game of our regular season in my freshman year at Riverside. And yeah, dude, I mean, it was a fun game. We beat them, but But they're a good football team. They're not bad. They had a lot of dudes on there, some dudes, some dogs. They had they look like, they were in the right direction. And I mean, of course that was 15 years ago, but I will tell you, Taryn, it's a good school, and they get a lot of talent. I mean, hey, especially those guys from modern day who don't go nowhere big. Hey, they just drip right on over to Santa Ana. You know what I mean? So they get a lot of guys. They get a lot of guys with guys who want that last chance you kind of deal. So they're a pretty good school, man. So, all right, brother. Well, taking a look at that this week, man. I mean, we got some good stuff there. Hopefully, coming up, we have some fun stuff next week for sure. But I like that. I like how you bring up Fullerton and Saddleback, because you gotta love some good Orange County battling, man. There's some great schools in there. High school for dang sure, and college, junior college wise, that's definitely great. So, all right, Taryn, moving on to the NJCAA. All right. Well, last week we had a scare. Number 1 Hutchinson had a freaking scare, dude. An in-state rivalry right here. Highland out of Kansas almost beat these guys. That's so crazy. I mean, okay, the offense definitely wasn't there, but their defense showed up. Hutchinson, man, got held to just 13 points. It was 6-0 at the half. It's crazy. And they scored that touchdown in the fourth quarter. So I don't know if it was 2 field goals or a touchdown, but regardless, at the half, but Hutchinson, man, escapes from Highland with a 13-0 victory. We talked about Iowa Western and Iowa last week. We knew that it'd be a fun game, but it didn't turn out to be so fun for Iowa Central. Western just rips through them 34-14. That's pretty decisive in football. Hey, a few scores there. They got done. 20-point victory for those guys. But Tyler and Kilgore, another game we talked about in the top 10 battle there. Kilgore ran away, dude. This is the second time that we put Kilgore in a box, and we were like, yeah, it's going to be a good game with a top-ranked team. And Kilgore gets smashed these guys, man. So Kilgore does it again. They destroyed Trinity Valley, a week before or 2 weeks ago, and then now they just defeat Tyler 55-18. Dude, Kilgore could be making a big campaign right now to make them playoffs and to jump in there, man. That'd be crazy to see this Texas team get in there. Trinity Valley, speaking of them though, they defeated New Mexico Military 39-13, which is pretty cool. Seeing Trinity Valley rebound. And New Mexico Military, man, I mean, as former champs, it's rough for those guys. They I don't know, they just had a rough go there. But last week, man, nothing too much more other than that. I mean, Lackawanna got snowed on. Where's my my side effect? But yeah, man, snow smacked these guys around 50-21. Last week, snow over Lackawanna. And Coffeyville, man, a team that's, they were a playoff team last year, I believe. They won over Butler 15-17 or 15-7, but they're 3-5 now in the year. So we're kind of seeing the whole playoff picture take shape for these guys. We really are. We're starting to see who's doing what and who's going where, who looks like they're going here. I don't know. But and then of course on Thursday there were a few games. Northwest Mississippi defeating Holmes 36-28. And East Mississippi getting a victory over Itawamba, 31-17. So take a look at these rankings, Taryn. I mean, we take a look at, we're looking for these top dogs. We're looking for who is going to be in this playoff hunt. They have that top 4 go. That's all that goes, Taryn. So the current top 10 all the way to 1 right now have Jones College, Dog City, East Mississippi, Trinity Valley, and Mississippi Gulf Coast. And the current top 5 we have Copiah Lincoln, Snow, Kilgore, Iowa Western, and Hutchinson. Dude, we keep on saying, we've said it all year long, that Hutchinson and Iowa Western are on a collision course. But dude, Kilgore and Snow, man, they might shake some things up. I don't know. So how about some of those games from last week? So are these rankings. Because, dude, yeah, your calendar is mimicking the NJCAA right now. Because, yeah, man, it's doing its best impression right now. Because today we...
control. And Kilgore, I thought Tyler was going to make it a little bit closer. And then you mentioned New Mexico Military. They hung tough with Trinity Valley, but it was just to no avail. That Coffeyville-Butler game, that was a thriller. Snow just straight up pelted their opponent to smithereens, no pun intended. And that was pretty much all I had from last week.
Yeah, dude, there was some goodies from last week for sure. But yeah, I mean, I saw there a little mute issue with Taryn. That was my bad, but we caught him in pretty good timing there, I think. So anyway, Taryn, yeah, dude, freaking Coffeyville, Iowa Western today. I mean, it's just one of those where Iowa Western's pretty much going to get the job done, I think. Nothing really to... I mean, Coffeyville's just playing upsetter right now, really. Huxton playing Independence, another one of those games that's just kind of blah. All these top schools are just kind of playing somebody. Iowa Western and Highland should be a good game because they're both in the middle. They're both not really going to do much, come playoff time. But this will be a fun game for them. And Snow Garden City, another fun little game there. But once again, nothing too head-turning here for this week as we just get closer and closer to playoffs, man, because I believe next week is where it all starts. I think so. So I think or not next week, I think the week after next is where we start getting the playoffs going for these guys. So one more week, man. Let's take a look at what we got here and let's see how things pan out. But, all right, so there goes the 3C2A and, of course, the NJCAA, Junior College, all wrapped up right here. On to the NAIA. And Taryn, dude, last week, man, we were talking about some of these games. We were talking about, and this is crazy, we were talking about how Morningside and Northwestern was the game. And it was. But man, talk about decisive. Northwestern College, the defending champions, man, they look good. They look very good, and they came out swinging, man. And Morningside, good, intimidating, former national champion in the last couple of years, but it didn't faze Northwestern, man. Northwestern came out and did their thing. They won this game by 14 points, man. 2 touchdowns. That's a good victory. All right, so Northwestern defeats Morningside 34-20 in this past week, which was pretty darn good for those guys. You take a look at some of these other games, and nothing really maxed up to it. I mean, nothing. I mean, Kaiser got a gigantic win here. It's on their top team. But that was the one. We circled that one. We said that there was going to be no other game that was really that good, and it wasn't. It's just the game we thought might have been a little closer. Regardless, though, it was... I don't know. To me, I feel like that was the game to watch. That was a game to enjoy, to check out, and well, it just kind of turned out to be a good game for Northwestern. Even though Morningside looked okay, I think this is just an indicator that Northwestern, dude, they could be repeating this year. What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, that Morningside Northwestern game. Here's the thing: Morningside actually led at halftime, 20-13. But their problem is that they straight up laid a goose egg in the second half. They got shut out. And then Northwestern just straight up capitalized on it. They scored 21 unanswered in that second half. So I got to give Northwestern a lot of credit. They really showed a lot of chops. And I give credit to Morningside, too. They looked really good in the first half, but in order to win against a legit opponent like Northwestern, you have to play a full 4 quarters. And thankfully for them, it's not a playoff game, but this is going to hurt them kind of in the long run.
Oh, it will. And right now, what we're looking at is just, make it to playoffs. Because right now, this is the crazy part in the season, Taryn, where November is here. But the playoffs aren't quite here. But we have a couple more weeks. Some of these games are huge. Some of these games aren't so huge. But they can be huge. And what I mean by they can be huge is it doesn't matter. Like we always say, it doesn't matter if we go out and blow somebody out. If we're a top team, Taryn. What matters is if we go and lose. Because if we lose, we're going to make headlines in the wrong way. And so close to playoffs. And it's just that part of the year. The burnout is real. We've been on the field since, March? spring football. We've been lifting weights since last season. We've been getting stronger, we're getting better. And in January, we really start to pick it up a little bit after, depending on how far we went last year. And now here we go. January is here. And it's time to really get going in the weight room. We're getting, drills on the field out there and keeping in shape, getting in shape. And like I told you, man, it's a long year, dude. So by the time that kicks in, we're playing now in the, in the summertime. We already did our spring game and everything, went through spring football. Now we're in summer, and summer is just rough because it's hot, it's nasty. We're doing sometimes 2 days, depending, we're really, really, really pushing it out there. Then you get the pads on come late July, August, and before you know it, dude, you're in training camp. That's just it's the best miserable time you'll ever have because you love it. You love what you're doing, but at the same exact time, you're like killing yourself. It's nasty. It's hard. It's painful. Rehab like crazy. It's great. And then you start the season, but you're like, it's okay. We're good. We're getting out here. We're hitting. And by this point, Darren, it's like, I'm telling you, the burnout can kind of hit you right now. In November, you're like, damn it. Like, okay, I'm all right. Got to keep myself preserved. We feel good. But damn, man, it's been a long 3 months playing this game. We've been pushing it, and here we go. And now it's like you kind of have to develop that second win because especially if you're a team that's going to go deep, you got another month and a half, dude. You know what I mean? It's so crazy, right, Darren?
Oh yeah.
So that's it in a nutshell right there, man. It really is. So, okay. Well, taking a look, man. The NAIA is just all kinds of fun, and right now, like I said, some of these teams, like we're taking a look at what we got right now, and this week, nothing too crazy. There's not. I mean, again, just another week full of games that should be won by certain teams, and that's it. Other games that are just kind of like, all right, cool, they're going to be played to be played. So, Morningside playing Dort. We have Northwestern. They're playing, I think, like Dakota Wesleyan. So, I mean, once again, upsets can happen at any given time, we know. But this week, it's just full of a bunch of teams who should be defeating the team they're playing. That's really all it is. And playoffs are creeping up for these guys. They get a big tournament coming up. Love it. I mean, I'm so hyped up for this freaking tournament in the NAIA, man. I mean... it's going to be fun. It really is. It's going to be a fun tournament this year for sure. Because I want to see if Morningside can really jump up, man. I mean, we don't know, but the current top 10 right now, we have Concordia. So from 10 to 6, Concordia of Michigan, College of Ohio, Lindsey Wilson, Kaiser, Carroll, and Southwestern. And then from 5 to 1, we have Marion, Indiana Wesleyan, Morningside, Grandview, and Northwestern. I don't know if they changed it from last week. Actually, I don't see it on there, but I will say that... Actually, sorry, that was not this past week. I don't know what happened there. That was from a couple weeks ago. But anyway, Taryn, I will tell you right now that this team, though... that this sanctioning body, the NAIA, I just love what they do. They do it... in my opinion, they do it the right way. I won't get into what I really feel about the transfer portal and everything, but I don't know. The NAIA just has a lot of good things that I continually praise, and I think it's a great sanctioning body. The NCAA, they got some kinks to continue to work out, and won't go any further on that, but. Anyway, Darren, so yeah, can't find those darn NAIA rankings, but what I can find is how good some of these teams have been. And as of right now, Darren, this has been a very good season so far. And now I got the right rankings, my apologies. So, from 10 to 6, Evangel, Bethel, Georgetown, College of Idaho, and Kaiser. Morningside only dropped just a little bit. They are currently number 5. Then we have Marion of Indiana, Indiana Wesleyan, Grandview, and Northwestern number 1 at 9-0, Grandview at 8-0. And there you have it. Sorry for those other rankings. I don't know what happened. I guess I got the wrong link there. But anyway, Darren, so any closing there on the NAIA before we move forward?
Well, Marion and Indiana Wesleyan, if I'm not mistaken, they play today.
Do they really?
Yeah, they play at noon Eastern time.
Didn't even see it. Didn't even see it. Interesting.
So that's going to be your match of the day in the NJCAA. Yeah.
Oh, you mean in the NAIA? My bad.
Or NAIA. Sorry,
we got
haven't had any breakfast today.
We got too many N's and J's and I's and A's and L. we got too many acronyms.
Too many consonants and vowels.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, apparently I didn't have my coffee either, Taryn, because I didn't even see that darn matchup, and I still don't see it. That's crazy. Well, that's gonna be the battle. That's for sure gonna be the battle of the day. Top 5 actually matchup there, Taryn. You said, "Wow, that's a hell of a game, man." Marion, you said in Indiana.
Yeah,
Wesleyan.
Marion at Indiana Wesleyan.
Yeah, man, that's a pretty good matchup there. So we shall see. We shall see. So next up, Taryn, we have ourselves Division 3, and boy, let me tell you, last week there was some good stuff. There was some good stuff. Not the cream of the crop kind of stuff we're going to get in the playoffs, because, man, those playoffs are fun. But, and just to make a note, gosh dang it, yes, we know the Purple Raiders are good, but they didn't have to smack around Otto Bean the way they did, man, with that cool little Cardinal guy we talked about last week. But 51-14, I mean, we all could have guessed it, right? Good game there for them. St. John's, man, they have quite a struggle with number 22, Muhlenberg. Number 8, Johns Hopkins, that is, defeats Muhlenberg 34-28 in a close one there. Number 1, North Central blows out North Park 56-0 because, well, you know, that's pretty much what number 1 does around here. St. John's, there's number 19, St. John's over Scholastica. St. Scholastica 62-7. And once again, just a bunch of teams winning games they should have won. And there is something I want to bring up, Taryn. Mary Hardin Baylor just drops another game. Of course, it was the number 20 Hardin Simmons. We talked about that being the game of the week, or one of the games to watch out for last week. 24-14. Taryn, Mary Hardin Baylor is just on the decline, man. And it's crazy because in 2004, they won a national championship, I believe. Then they wouldn't even be relevant again until like 5 years ago, where they would go back and forth with Mount Union for like a good couple of years. And now they're just kind of sliding off again. Darren, I don't know, man. The recruiting, I don't know what happened, but Mary Hardin Baylor, man, they've definitely seen better years. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about them, but it's kind of a rough go there for those guys, but they definitely see some better years. Regardless, man, last week as well, I mean, I guess you could say number 9 Linfield and Pacific, 42-27. Pacific, you know, hanging with those guys from Linfield, but really, last week, not the most exciting stuff in D3, right?
Well, Wartburg kind of had to grind it out against Central. Central kind of made him sweat in that matchup, only winning 24-14, which I am a little surprised. Number 3 team only winning by 10, that's a little head-scratching. And then Wisconsin River Falls only winning by 14 in a high-scoring affair against Stout. Kind of shows that these in-state rivalries can really bring out the best in a team.
That's right, and we talked about that last week. The Wisconsin teams, man, they're fun, and Stout gave them all they could handle. It's a pretty good game there.
Stout was stout.
They were. Stout was stout. Good job there, Terrence. The current top 10 from 10 to 6, we have Randolph-Macon, Linfield, Johns Hopkins, Wisconsin River Falls, and Trinity out of Texas. And the current top 5, Wisconsin Whitewater, surprise, surprise. Wisconsin Lacrosse, who's just been jumping, man. Wartburg, Mount Union, and of course, number 1, North Central. So, Taryn, jumping into this week, dude, we got some goodies. At least I would hope. I would hope we get some goodies this week. When I take a look at the schedule this week, I just, once again, all I see is we got a few weeks. We got a few weeks, man. And just a couple, we're here. But these games can say so much in these last few weeks to where the seedings are going to be. I am telling you, it is just crazy. So, John Carroll and Mount Union could be a fun game this week. Could be, but of course, I don't think it's going to be close. But we'll see. Wisconsin Whitewater and Wisconsin Stevens Point. Once again, one of those in-state rivalries. We don't know. Illinois Wesleyan and North Central out of Illinois. I'm pretty sure it's going to go North Central's way, but once again, we don't know. Those all could be those fun rivalry games. We have here lacrosse, Wisconsin lacrosse and Wisconsin River Falls. That's probably going to be one of the better games of the year. And Linfield and Pac Lu, man, yeah. Linfield and Pac Lutheran, Pacific Lutheran, should be a pretty fun game. But other than that, Taryn, we don't really have much more in the top 25, man. At least some teams that could be pretty solid. Are you seeing anything worth looking at this week in D3?
Yeah, I think Linfield Pacific Lutheran's an underrated matchup.
It is, right?
Lacrosse and River Falls from Wisconsin is an underrated matchup. Maybe Whitewater and Stevens Point could be underrated. It all depends on which of these teams will show up and which teams doesn't. I hope Mount Union John Carroll is a good matchup. And then I also hope Johns Hopkins and Dickinson can be a good matchup as well.
Well, we can only hope, but we shall see, brother. So, alrighty. So, on to D2, and what a perfect segue, Taryn. In the chat room here, Adam says, "Good morning, guys. How is D2 Shepherd?" Of course he would bring up Shepherd, because, of course, alma mater of the greatest backup quarterback in the NFL. Ha ha. Of course, Darren, we know a thing or two about Tyson Bagnet. He's Bagent, sorry. He, of course, out of Shepherd. And it's funny, Darren, we talked about his teams, actually. He was on a couple of years ago. Shepherd, of course, not too bad. Shepherd is a pretty damn good D2 team. They're always somewhere in the mix. They're always in the playoffs. Not quite getting the victories, they need to in the playoffs as of late, but they're always in and around the playoffs and looking pretty sharp. It's kind of funny because as there's a big week for their quarterback. Last week they didn't have such a big week, as they would actually, they're ranked number 21 last week, and they would drop. What a week, right? Where they would actually lose to Bloomsburg, unranked Bloomsburg, 14-10 on the road. Let's just say that number 21 ranking is probably gone. So, we built them up, and I guess just to knock them down. I don't know, Darren, but that did happen last week.
Yeah, it must have been a rough week to be a Shepherd fan. Their football team lost, and then Tyson Bagent kind of laid a goose egg against the Chargers. Sorry, Adam.
Poor Shepherd. rough go for those guys, man. But so what do you call it? We have here. Oh man, I'm sorry, I just threw me off. That was pretty dang funny. But all right, man. So next up here, we have. A couple games in D2 that were pretty. Adam says here, no need to apologize. I don't know. At least your Bears beat my Raiders. Come on, man. Take something away from the season positive. Anyway, so number 13, Western Colorado. We thought it'd be a good game, but it's not, because Colorado School of Mines, of course, the new number 1 team in the country, have defeated them 42-7 last week. Nothing really to look at. Davenport and Saginaw Valley. We know Saginaw Valley, though, man. This team was gosh damn, that's a good team out of Michigan. This team can play, and they fight. They fight well. Regardless, Davenport, man, good school here. They pulled it out ever so slightly, 24-21 last week. And, man, what a game, though. Ferris State really irritated that they would fall, to number 4, but they took out their frustrations on American International 56-0, as we can clearly see that. And then, of course, we take a look at, let's see, what else was there this week that was pretty good? Minnesota Duluth takes Bemdy State, man, all the way to a very good dogfight here, 38-31. This was a very good game, but however, Bemdy State would get that victory. And nothing more. I mean, once again, just a D2 type week. I know that West Florida was actually in here too, and I got to find them because they had a game that I wanted to highlight for sure. But taking a look at some of these teams, man, I mean, hey, we kind of see the shape already of the D2 playoffs. We kind of already see what's going on, and how these teams are probably going to stack up in the playoffs. There we go. I found them. So this was crazy too. Wayne State defeating number 10 Augustana. They had a pretty impressive season, and now they they lost 14-12 to Wayne State. And then West Florida, man, number 8 West Florida, a team with so much promise, man, this year going into the season. Valdosta State, a team that's actually won it all a couple years back. Number 24 Valdosta State defeats West Florida 31-28, man. Tough go there for the Argos. But great game there for Valdosta State. That was probably one of the better games of the week last week. And that's pretty much it, Aaron. I mean, well, actually, no. Number 7 Lenore Ryan would fall to Wingate 34-30. So, yeah, Aaron. Any notables for you in D2 last week?
I was kind of unimpressed from CSU or Colorado Mesa as they got stomped on by CSU Pueblo 59-20. I expected a little bit better, but
right? Yeah, that was kind of a dud game. I thought it'd be a better game or a better victory for them.
Yeah, I really expected that to be at least a down-to-the-wire game, especially when it's an in-state rivalry. So it kind of makes me draw the narrative of, did Colorado Mesa win that game against San Diego because half their team was out, or did they kind of just, yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true. I mean, good old Mesa. You're never going to let that one go, are you, Taryn? Nope. San Diego's team being dumb and, oh my gosh, I don't even know. But anyway, so good old D2, guys. Division 2 does not disappoint. Always a great week. And, well, this week, man, we can take a look here at what we got going. And overall, it should be, I mean, we got the rankings, actually, right here. And I see it as it is. I think they got these rankings spot on. Taking a look at them. All the way from 10 to 5, we have here Minnesota State, Bemdy State, Central, Benedict, and Slippery Rock. And then from 5 to 1, we have Harding, Ferris State, Pittsburgh State, Grand Valley, and Colorado School of Mines. So, anyway, y'all, hey, what's up to our boy Daryl Kinsey Jr. in the chat here. Of course, he is a graduate from Bowie State, who is actually no longer Division II. Kind of crazy. They're actually a FCS school now, which is pretty cool. So, pretty sweet, right? I mean, you gotta love it when some of these teams jump up, man. You take a look at like Tarleton State out of Texas. They jumped up as well. I mean, it's cool when you see that. You rarely see the teams going backwards, like Idaho Vandals, how they would go backwards and become an FCS when they were an FBS years ago. But yeah, really cool to see some of these schools jumping up. So anyway, Taryn. So coming up this week here on D2, or at least with D2 games. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. I thought they jumped up. Sorry. Yeah, they're still D2. So I thought they were, but yeah. Okay. So, Taryn, this week, bro, Ferris State and Davenport. Yes. This should be fun. Number 4, Ferris State. Number 13, Davenport. Can Davenport pull off this upset? If they do, Ferris State will not. Redemption will not be. They'll be placed in a really kind of crazy bracket, and I don't see that happening. Here they are. Yep, Bowie State and Lincoln of Pennsylvania. So yeah, I don't know why I thought they jumped up last year. My bad, but I thought they did. Thought they jumped up, but okay. Other than that, Daryl says we would get wrecked at FCS levels. At the FCS level, yeah, kind of rough, but it's all good. Hey, maybe one day, right? So anyway, so number 2, Grand Valley State is taking on Wayne State today. Just no sleepers today, man. I don't really see much. Pittsburgh State in Western or Missouri Western, number 24. cool. That's number 3 Pittsburgh State taking on number 24 Missouri Western. So, cool, I guess. But once again, Taryn, I think the goodies are coming in a couple of weeks when we get those playoffs, when we get those brackets. That's going to be the goodies. So anyway, any bangers for you this week that I may have missed there in D2?
No, I think you got the Fair State matchup as kind of the matchup to watch for, and I'm really excited for that matchup. I only wish the other ranked-on-ranked matchup was good, but Fair State Davenport is the matchup that takes the cake, and then Pittsburgh State Missouri Western is a matchup that I hope that could be just as good, but on paper it looks like Pittsburgh State's going to win this one fairly easily. But you never know with Missouri Western playing on their home field.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. So, okay, so here we go. Jumping on over to the FCS. Taryn, last week was crazy because now we see the FCS is fun. Oh my gosh, the FCS is fun because other than the whole cupcake fiasco that we just keep on complaining about, more like me complaining about all season because I'm sick and tired of the cupcake crap. I mean, we don't need FCS to play FBS really that much. I don't like it. But anyway, so, I mean, a few mix and match like the other divisions do, but not like all the time. Regardless, though, when FCS plays FCS, it is fun. And, dude, last week we talked about it, Darren. We talked about Montana State, man. We talked about Montana State in Idaho. Once again, a team they were FBS like 15, 16 years ago, and they decided to make the jump backwards to FCS, and well, now they're competitive there for sure. But, dude, Montana State, man, I mean, this team, we were talking about them being on a fury. They were going to be good. Man, they were moving, and damn it, they dropped one to Idaho, 24-21 last week on the road, and they dropped, man. They dropped. I mean, it's not they're not going to get in the playoffs. That's why I love the playoff system so much. It's not going to hinder their entire playoffs, but dude, oh my gosh, man, I don't know. Seeing that last week was a painful one for the Bobcats, especially because their rivals, the Grizzlies, man, Montana Grizzlies, they're on the up and up, man. They've passed them now on the rankings. Montana's in the top 5 now. They defeated Northern Colorado 40-0 last week, and they're moving right now. They are moving. Adam wants to be funny in the chat room and says that Western Illinois is going to get the win today. And, well, Western Illinois last week... Do you even want me to say it on air, Taryn? Should I put the explicit button on? Because this was kind of ugly. Southern Illinois took Western Illinois around the woodshed last week. 63-0 for the Western. Poor Western Illinois, man. Those poor leather necks. They are now at 0-8 on the season. WIU, I mean, at this point in time, we've got to cheer. We've got to cheer as hard as we can for this team. They got 3 games left. They're probably hoping they finish the stream as fast as they can. They got UNI today. Then they got Indiana State and then South Dakota. Well, we know they're not beating South Dakota. But Taryn, they just need to stop. Just kidding, but yeah, I don't know, dude. They're 5-3, man. Northern Iowa, so I don't know. But anyway, Taryn, the FCS last week, man, was fun. It was very, very, very fun. I enjoyed a lot of this game. Sacramento State redeemed themselves, defeating Idaho State 51-16. We talked about Tarleton State. Tarleton State moved up and they got it, man. They defeated Central Arkansas 25-23. So good stuff there. North Dakota State. Hey, they redeemed themselves a little bit, even though they've really fallen off this year. 38-6 over Murray State. Let's see what these guys can do. They're not going to not be in the play. Once again, that's what I love about the freaking playoff system, like the big brackets. They're not going to not be in the playoffs. They're just not going to get the highest seeding, as North Dakota State fashion the last decade of their destruction and domination. South Dakota State and South Dakota. Taryn, we really hoped this game would be good, and it was anything but good. The Jacks destroy the Coyotes 37-3, dude. How about the Jacks, man? They're number one. They're showing it. They're proving it. And North Dakota, man, the Fighting Hawks, man, 36-33 over Indiana State in overtime. Dude, I'm telling you, man, the FCS, when you don't engage them with the FBS, it's just fun. It is fun. I absolutely love the FCS football is where it's at, dude. I enjoy it. I love it. I think it's fun. But also Adam here being funny again here. It says Western Illinois has 14 points total the last 3 weeks. Darren, take over, dude. I can't do this.
And also, FCS football is fun when they beat an FBS team.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when all the chaos ensues. So it can be fun, but when it's like a really, really good team taking on a not-so-good team in terms of like FBS versus FCS, it just gets really old.
No, and that's for dang sure, Taryn. So we have here from 10 to 6 here in the FCS, courtesy of NCAA.com. We have Southern Illinois, South Dakota, IWU, or IUW, sorry, Sacramento State, and Montana State. And then the current top 5, Delaware, Montana, Idaho, Furman. That's right, y'all. I said it right. Furman. They're number 2 right now. They have fought hard, 7-1 on the season. And then, of course, number 1, man, South Dakota State, 7-0, looking strong. And, yeah, dude, I love it, though. I love me some FCS. I love it. It's fun. It's great. And, you're right. When FCS school beats a Division I, single A, oh, that's fun. So, all right, man. So, coming up this week, we're going to all try to cheer for the Leathernecks of Western Illinois for Adam Karnick's sake because, well, they've seen better days. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. But we can only hope for them, right? That's about it. But anyway, man, coming up today in Division 1 AA or FCS, whichever you'd prefer to call it. North Dakota, UND taking on Murray State may be fun. Also, South Dakota taking on Southern Illinois also may be fun. So, I don't know. Those 2 games have a chance to be good. They also have a chance to be a blowout. We'll find out. Once again, we talked about it because Adam just loves bringing it up in the chat here that Western Illinois at 0-8, could possibly give the Panthers of Northern Iowa a game. 5-3. I'm kidding. I don't know. Watch them win. Wouldn't that be crazy? Anyway, we're gonna see it. Adam's gonna tag us if they win. We have here. Let's see. Where was the one? So this is the week, though, Taryn. This is the week. It's usually the most important week in the FCS the last couple of years because it's always the Jacks and the Bison. North Dakota State taking on South Dakota State. And, dude, this is going to be a good one. North Dakota State taking 2 licks from North Dakota and South Dakota. Well, now they play their rivals, South Dakota State. Taryn, if they lose, and they lose to all the Dakota teams, North Dakota State needs to be a lower rank, a big time lower seed. I'm just saying. They'll still get in. They're still potent. But, yeah, I do not want to see these fools like as a number 3 seed or something. I'm sorry. So, anyway. Then you got Northern Arizona taking on Montana State. That should be a win for Montana State. And, yeah, Taryn, I don't know. I don't really see too much more. Sacramento State. No, that's the one. There you go. Sacramento State and Montana. Oh, that's going to be a good game today because it has major top 5 implications there. So, anyway, Taryn, what do you see, man? What are you looking for this week in the FCS?
Yeah, Montana, Sacramento State is the matchup. I want to say maybe Portland State, UC Davis is a sneaky good matchup, though I would not be surprised if Portland State just hung 50-plus on Davis. Yeah, it's harsh but true. South Dakota State, North Dakota State is also the matchup just because It's one of those classic rivalry matches. I mean, come on. Those two are kind of neck and neck. Have always been neck and neck with one another. And don't be surprised if North Dakota State does win.
dude, if they do, that would be something. It would definitely be something. And yeah, Adam Karnick's having a little too much fun here in the chat. He says, I'm going to dedicate a whole segment on Chi-Town Weekly to WIU if they win. It's going to be the Leatherneck show. Like, yeah, Adam Karnick's going to go all out because that's probably going to be their only win of the year. So, hey, but anyway, dude. So, last week, Taryn, in the single A, oh my gosh. There were some games. We knew Florida State was going to defeat Wake Forest. We talked about it earlier, but Kansas taking out Oklahoma was kind of funny. I mean, it just kind of was. Kansas, we talked about it earlier, but Georgia taking out Florida once again. I mean, surprise, right? Texas taking out BYU, surprise. Oregon taking out Utah, surprise. Notre Dame taking out Pittsburgh, surprise. I mean, once again, it's a lot of games that the one, honestly, if any game surprised me, it was Washington-Stanford, because Stanford actually, as terrible as they are, they fought number 5 Washington pretty good, only losing 42-33, which, well, hell, that's kind of a win for them in a weird way. And then we had the debacle that was USC giving up 49 points, but winning by 1 point, 50-49. That just disgusted me and makes me wonder if that was USC's last win of the year, which I hope that's not the case, but it just kind of makes you feel that way. As I said, Arizona defeating Oregon State and Georgia Tech defeating North Carolina. 2 pretty big upsets there. Also, James Madison and Old Dominion, talk about FCS schools. They used to be FCS, and now look at these two battling at the FBS level. But then there was the game of the week, Taryn. There was a game of the week where number 23, UCLA, defeated Colorado. This was a good one. You cover UCLA on the SoCal Spring Sports Show. Well, how about this game, man? How about both? Any of those games you want to add, but for sure SC and UCLA. What about those?
Well, for UCLA, I knew they would win, but I had a feeling they were going to be winning ugly. Now, interestingly enough, UCLA kind of has a little quarterback controversy. They don't know who they're going to roll with, whether it's Dante Moore or Ethan Garbers, but it looks like they're rolling with Ethan Garbers. As heck, they even had Colin Shalee. Well, never mind. It was just a trick play. But Ethan Garbers was the starting quarterback because I guess Dante Moore was just struggling. He did have a couple interceptions here and there, which was what resulted in pick sixes. But Ethan Garbers is back in at quarterback for UCLA, and we'll see what happens when it comes to the Bruins. But the USC just continues to be frustrating. I know they won, but that's just unacceptable. Cal was 3-4 going into that game, and I know you're playing that on the road, but that may have been USC's last win because the next 3 games are against ranked opponents. You've got Washington tonight, then you've got Oregon next week, and then you've got UCLA to close out the regular season. I mean, it's cool that USC is bowl eligible, but there's no silver lining to that because you can't even win the Pac-12 at this point. You'd have to have all the dominoes fall in place correctly.
It's a shame. And yeah, bowl eligible. Yeah, Taryn, they're going to play in the No One Cares Bowl. Okay? that's what they're going to play in.
The Raider Toilet Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. The Raider Toilet. I like that one. That's great. I mean, it's the truth, man. They're going to play in the Big Lots Bowl. Okay? They're going to play in the Popeye Spicy Chicken Sandwich Bowl. All right? I'm sorry. Like, even
the Hallmark Channel Bowl.
No, he didn't. I'm sorry. That's funny. He said the Hallmark Channel Bowl. I'm sorry. That was great. I hate to say it, but I feel like that's probably a real thing. It's coming soon. The Hallmark Channel Bowl. Yeah, that's exactly where USC belongs right now. Unlike Hallmark movies, though, USC probably won't have a happy ending. USC, they're gonna reject USC because they're gonna have a happy ending. So no Hallmark for them. Yeah, they should play. The USC at this point should be in the. Adam Karnik says here in the chat room. He says, this is great. Adam Karnik says here in the chat room, the Hallmark Christmas Movie Bowl. I love it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm enjoying myself too much. I'm sorry, but dude, yeah. But at this point in time, the freaking USC needs to play in the Discovery Channel Bowl, man, because we don't know what the hell's going on with them. We need to figure it out. So I don't know, man. This is great.
USC needs to discover their offense, and they need to discover their defense and be on the Discovery Channel.
They're going to be in the Discovery Channel special. Where the hell is USC's defense? They don't know what defense is. I can see it now, like the opening, like, what if I told you there was a top-ranked university, or a formerly top-ranked university at the FBS level who didn't know what a defense was? Join us here on the Discovery Channel for a all-new special. Can USC discover a defense? Like, oh, that'd be great. Just, yeah. Poor team doesn't know what the hell a defense is. Also, Taryn, Adam says here, Northwestern is playing at Wrigley Field again today. Cool. Poor Northwestern. They've seen a lot of crap happen this week, but that's actually pretty cool, though. I need to see that they're playing at Wrigley Field. But yeah, Taryn, I don't know, dude. I don't understand. But anyway, yeah, USC needs to get their crap together, because I don't see them winning at all again, playing the way they did versus Cal, versus the next three opponents, and that's including UCLA, because UCLA is getting it together right now, Taryn. UCLA is getting it together. UCLA is coming together at the right time. I don't know, dude. We might see this team playing a pretty good bowl, and you know what? Good for them. USC, though, once again, we play. I love it. Hallmark. I love it. So, all right, Darren. Well, last week, dude, just crazy stuff there. So, okay, we're getting to the end here. So, let's go ahead and make some pick'ems and have some fun here with our top 25 ranked teams, Darren. And let's see what we got. So, first ranked of the day, number 23 Kansas State taking on number 7 Texas. Darren, Kansas won last week over Oklahoma. So, I guess mathematically, if A squared equals B squared, I'm just kidding, I don't know. But I don't know, Taryn. Kansas State is now taking on Texas. It is the in-state rival versus the big out-of-state rival. I don't know. Does Kansas State have it in them to beat Texas, or will Texas make it happen? Texas is favored by 3.5 points. Who you got, Taryn?
I got Texas winning that one. That seems to be the safe decision.
Yeah, it's a safe one. I like it. Man, it'd be great to see the upset, though. It'd be cool to see. Number 12, Missouri, man. 7-1 coming in hot. This team is ready. They look good. They look poised. They're like I said, 7-0. They're ranked 12 in the nation. That's the highest they've been in a long time. But then they're playing number 2, which is crazy, because take a look at the rankings, by the way, last past week. From 10 to 6, sorry to kind of just cut this section, but from 10 to 6, it is crazy. We have Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, and Oregon. In the current top 5, we have Washington, Florida State, Michigan, Georgia, and number 1, Ohio State, man. So Ohio State has now leapfrogged Georgia into number 1, which is crazy. So we'll see how that continues. But anyway, Aaron, moving forward, Georgia, number 2, Georgia, is favored by 15 points in this game. Darren, is it that obvious?
Unfortunately, as good as Missouri is and as drastically improved as they are, I got to go with Georgia. Sorry.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm going with Georgia big time. All right, Taryn, we got a little Oklahoma battle here going on. Oklahoma just lost a nasty one to Kansas last week. Oklahoma State's been doing pretty okay. They're 6-2. Both of them, 7-1 for the Sooners, 6-2 for the Cowboys. Taryn, it's in Stillwater. Ooh, that's going to be a good game. Okay, in the home of of the Cowboys. It looks like the Sooners are favored by 5.5 points here. Do they make it happen, or do we get the upset at home?
As much as I'd like to see Oklahoma State pull off this win, and it is a rivalry game, I got to go with Oklahoma. I just think that they have got too many studs on that team, and their defense is way too good. I think this is kind of their get-right game. But it will probably be ugly because it's one of those rivalry games. And doesn't this rivalry have a nickname like the Panhandle rivalry or something?
Yeah, it does. I totally spaced on it, but yes. So we shall see. That should be a fun game. We're getting into the rivalry.
The Panhandle Powwow.
The Panhandle Powwow. That's right. That's
what I'll call it.
I like that. I didn't know if that was a real name or whatnot, but hey, we'll take it, Taryn. I like that one. So, all right, man. Dude, here we go. This should be probably one of the better games of the day because the quote-unquote game of the day is going to suck. I think my damn TV channels I'm sitting now. I really think this is the actual game of the day, or game of the week. But number 14 LSU 6-2, number 8 Alabama at 7-1. Two teams that are not invincible, but damn, they're showing it. This is a good one, man. This is a good one. Who you taking? This is always a classic, well, for the most part. And these two states love to hate each other, man, when it comes to football. So LSU, Alabama. Alabama's favored by 3 points. They're at home in Tuscaloosa. What you got?
It's in Tuscaloosa, and honestly, I really want to go with Alabama, but I'm feeling the upset here. Give me LSU.
Well, I'm going to be safe and take the Crimson Tide, but dude, watch those Tigers pull it off.
There we go. We got a pick we don't agree on.
I like it.
But I like it.
Me too. That's going to be a fun game. We got to tune in for that one for sure. Two games, Taryn, that are not ranked on ranked, but I just wanted to bring to your attention. They're Pac-12 games. They're fun games here. Oregon State at 6-2 and Colorado at 4-4. Oregon State's favored by 12.5 points. Is it fair to favor them by that much? Do you think they're going to cover that? Or do you think Colorado's going to do some of their magic and possibly, is the magic over? I don't know, Taryn. Is Oregon State, I mean, they were upset. I mean, are they going to, I don't know. What do you think about this game? This is a fun one, right?
I think Oregon State comes out with the win, but I don't know if I ever told you this, but Oregon State has a new quarterback. They're starting Aiden Childs, a freshman quarterback from Downey. So I think that is going to kind of – I wouldn't say that's going to rattle him, but playing in Colorado with a little bit of a hostile environment, it's kind of going to rattle him just because freshman quarterback and whatnot. But I really think that Oregon State just ekes out a win.
Wouldn't that be something, man? I mean, that'd be crazy to see. So then we have, I think they're going to win, but regardless, I don't know. Colorado has a very good fighting chance here, as they have all season. Then we have number 19 UCLA taking on Arizona. Dude, this is a good game too, because Arizona's been on one recently, man. They're 5-3, UCLA 6-2. The only thing different about these two teams is the ranking on one and the non-ranking on the other. Dude, UCLA is favored by 2.5 points. Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah, it definitely is. So UCLA just became bowl game eligible as they wound up winning their game last week against Colorado in prime time, But here's the thing. Arizona is so under the radar, it's not even funny. And Arizona just needs to win one game of their own, and then they're bowl game eligible. So, and then Noah Fafita is doing phenomenal at quarterback. The thing about him is that he's under 6 feet, and yet he is just balling like it's nobody's business. He's got Tataroa McMillan, who is just a fantastic wide receiver, or I think he's a wide receiver tight end. But, you know what? Give me UCLA just to be safe.
It's a tough one, but I'm also taking UCLA, man. I want to see the Wildcats win. That'd be fun, but... And then, of course, we have our game of the week on the ABC, 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern. Taryn, I don't know why this is the game of the week. I guess people just want to see USC get embarrassed. If USC plays anything like they have the entire freaking season, they will be completely embarrassed in this game. Taryn, what you think, man? Number 5 Washington at 8-0 taking on number 20 USC at 7-2. Washington is only favored by 3 points. I just wow. But what do you think about this one, Taryn? Game of the week.
So this is the battle of the quarterback Heisman favorites in Caleb Williams and Michael Penix Jr. And honestly, Williams had himself a great bounce-back game last week, but now he's taking on a Washington team which is going to be a whole lot better. And they have not lost, and they have a great win over Oregon. I really hate to pick against USC, but I don't want to. I got to go with Washington.
Yeah, as much as I love SC, I've never picked against my teams ever, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Of course, my heart's cheering on USC, and I want them to win, but I just don't see it, dude. I don't see it. There's nothing here that makes me say this team's going to win this week. Washington's probably going to smack USC this week, and I hate to say it, but yeah. And yes, I'm sorry. I don't know why. You know why? Because at the top of the list, and NBC, ABC, I just got confused the two. Same exact time, but yes, Darren, the game of the week is actually, thank you, Adam, for reminding me here. The game of the week is actually, this is sad. This is why we need an actual, like, I don't know. This is something that should have been flexed. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. I know because TV deals are different and everything with college too. But so the actual game of the week is 2-6 Purdue and number 3 in the country, 8-0 undefeated Michigan. Yeah, because the Big Ten
needs to really reconsider their Big 12 contract or Big 10 contract. Sorry.
Taryn, I'm telling you, and this is no diss on anybody who loves the Big Ten or anything, because, dude, I just can't believe the Pac-12 fell apart. I mean, of course, there's different reasons, but really, this is good football, guys. Like, this is good, like, UCLA, Arizona should be fun, okay? Colorado and Oregon State, that should be fun, okay? I mean, Washington and USC, even though that might be different, that should be a lot of fun, okay? Even Utah and Arizona State could be a damn good game. Okay, look at all those good ones, all right? Cal and Oregon, no, I don't think that's going to be very good at all. But you look at all those good ones right there. Those are going to be fun, dude. And then really? Ohio State and Rutgers. Yeah, that's a great game right there. Damn, that's a good game. I mean, man, I can't wait. Maryland and Penn State could actually be a pretty good game, so I'm going to give them that. But really, I mean, you couldn't make Penn State and Maryland the game of the week. You had to put Michigan out there to destroy Purdue, like, for real, bro. Like, Adam says NBC paid over $2 billion, so it could air games like that. And they wonder why people would rather watch Division II and Division III. And the FCS, I'm just saying. So, anyway. Taryn, this is going to be the most difficult decision of the day. Game of the week. The Purdue Boilermakers taking out the number 3 Michigan. I can't. Who the hell are you picking for this game? I already know who it is. But
I am picking per Michigan for this one.
I should just take Purdue for giggles. This is great. I'm sorry. This is great. We've had some good laughs this week, man. We've had some good stuff last week we did too, but Taryn, that's it. Dude, oh man, what a show.
We're ending it on that note.
We're ending it on that note, dude. We're cueing the music. That was fun, but dude, what a show, as always, brother. That was a lot of fun. Talk to us, brother. Talk to us, man. Any closing statements for all of our listeners out there? And of course, man, anything else you want to add on? Doesn't matter what level, high school, college, whatever. And of course, where all these diehard fans can find you.
Well, there was actually an oh no moment for me, as there was a high school that I was covering, Corona Del Mar, as they played Paraclete in the first round of the CIF Southern Section playoffs. And I don't know whose playlist was this, but apparently they had some Mariah Carey on their playlist. And not All I Want for Christmas Is You, but dare I say it, they had Touch My Body as one of their songs on their playlist. And Obsessed. So I'm going to go on record, and I don't mean to say this to promote Omar in a mean way, but it's any wonder why they lost to Newport Harbor in Battle of the Bay. Hate comments commence.
You're cold. Yeah. Those aren't necessarily the biggest pump-up songs for a football game, but whatever. They definitely have their place in the world.
Yeah, you do not
good
have
music.
that on your playlist.
But you need hype-up good songs. You don't need to... No, stop it. That's pretty funny, man. So, find us all over the place, IE Sports Radio, all over X, Instagram, our website, IESportsRadio.com, just anywhere, man. Check us out, follow us, follow this show at 3&Out 3&Out CEIE on X. Show us some love. You guys, we appreciate y'all, man. This is always a fun time. As I always say, all glory to God. Without Him, nothing is possible. So we appreciate you all. We thank you all so very much, you guys, for being here this week, man. Joining Taryn and I, just having too much fun with this show. For my boy, Taryn Rodriguez. For me, your boy, Larry B. That is going to do it for this week. That is that. We are on, as Marcus Loves Great would say, we're on to the next one. So once again, for Taryn, for me, your boy, Larry B., we will see y'all next week. Until then, take care, and as always, God bless.
Peace.